Small stream fishing is a dying art. Large swathes of the country are crisscrossed with rocky burns, brooks and becks, but many of them hardly see an angler from one year to the next. Like most becks, this one is not a managed fishery. It holds wild brown trout, not hatchery reared stockies, and personally I wouldn't want it any other way. The key to success here is not fancy baits or terminal rigs. A tub of worms, a packet of hooks and a box of split shot is all that's required, along with a certain amount of agility and fitness, and a lot of stealth. The fish here are acutely aware of Bankside disturbance, and the boughs and branches which seem to hang over every attractive looking pool make catching them a challenge. Mobility is essential, so it's important to travel light. I'm using an 8 feet long fly rod combined with a small fixed spool reel. Inevitably, lots of casts end up stuck in branches or snagged on riverbed rocks, but when you get it right, the action can be pretty much instant. Typical small stream trout. There's a surprising variation in the size and number of spots between different fish. A drake mallard seems to have found something tasty on the bed of the beck. Grey-lag geese are not birds normally associated with rocky becks, but this pair seem happy enough in an adjacent field. Watch the floating line slither across the surface as a trout takes the bait. The shade-loving ramsons, or wild garlic, finds the damp stream bank to its liking. And in early May, the bluebells are coming towards their prime. This is a flower I've yet to identify, but it seems happy enough growing on what will be the stream bed during times of flood. The dappled light around the trees which surround the beck is just what the speckled wood butterfly likes. If you blinked, you'll have missed that, so it's worth watching again in slow motion. I've seen trout rising in this pool, but that steel girder with its adornments makes getting a good cast awkward. In the end, I decide to flick a bait over the top of it. And it pays off. Now the only problem is how to get the fish onto the bank. At around 13 inches long it would be a good size for the pan, but like all the trout I catch, it's going back alive. Time to head further downstream. This peacock butterfly, basking on the farm track, will have hibernated over winter. It's probably lived 8 or 9 months as an adult butterfly, so small wonder it's starting to look a little bit tatty. seconds after I get momentarily snagged on a riverbed rock, you'll see a kingfisher fly upstream and swerve away when it spots me. Don't blink or you'll miss it. It's worth watching again in slow motion. The sun has temporarily gone behind the clouds, and a female orange-tipped butterfly rests in the grass. Only the male has the orange patches on the wings. It's a new day and I've already covered several pools without reward, but I've seen a trout rising close to that fallen branch. Although superficially similar to the orange tip, this is a different species, a green-veined white. This pool is bisected by a barrier of debris deposited by winter floods. I know from previous experience that there's a chance of catching trout on both sides of the obstruction. The insect-rich habitat of the beck is perfect for the grey wagtail. This dainty little bird is having a good preen, before eventually leaving its calling card on the rock. And now on the downstream side of that barrier of flood debris. Watch as the line suddenly draws tight when a trout takes the bait. It's always interesting to see what's hiding under the riverbed rocks. In this case it's a sizable bullhead, which stays still, relying on camouflage to avoid detection. The stone loach is fast off the mark and rarely obliging when it comes to hanging around to be filmed. This is where I came face to face with the kingfisher. Let's see if there's a trout in residence today.